Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV here in Frederick, Colorado. My name is Taylor, and today we're going to be going over the 2023 Winnebago Travato. It's the 59KL, so that's the twin bed and lithium battery pack upgrade. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to give me a call at the information below. My personal number is 970-388-7937. All right, let's go ahead and take a little quick walk around the outside, and then we'll end off on the inside. Sliding over here, we'll start up at the front with the bigger truck style mirrors and the blinker on the inside there. As we move up, we have our nice exterior light, so you don't have to worry about packing that. It's already there for you. And then we have our awning up there that does have that LED strip in it along with that wind sensor. So if you are occupied or you walk away from the campground for a moment, you don't have to worry about your awning getting damaged. And then I would just like to point out all of the windows that we have on this passenger side. These are the awning style windows, so they prop open, so rain, sunshine, or snow, you can still kind of have them cracked open. You don't have to worry about any of that getting inside. And it does have that nice bug screen as well as a blackout screen, but it's a very heavy duty and desirable window option. And then as we slide down here, we do have some charging capabilities. We'll start with the very first one here, which is our Zamp solar. If you did want some additional solar, then you can go ahead and just plug it in right here. And next, if you want some outdoor entertainment, you can go ahead and plug in a TV. And then of course, we have some options here for some charging. All right. Moving on over to the rear. Very top there, we have our backup camera. And then we have our hitch down here that does have the 7-way pin connector. So if you did want to go ahead and have a little trailer or anything like that, you can have the brake lights attached. All right, first few glimpses of the inside here. We are just going to go ahead and start with the window. I love these window covers just because they're magnetic, so it's super easy to rip off. And then also easy to install. You don't have to mess with any zippers or anything like that. It just goes ahead and latches in. And then if you did still want to keep them on and didn't want to have to mess with it, you can go ahead and unzip it. As you can tell here, they're very thick and insulated, which is going to be nice too, just because the window is the weakest part of the coach as far as insulation. So it's nice having that extra barrier. Here are just some extra from the previous customer, some magnets. So I don't know, tying down something here, maybe because we have our outdoor shower, you can go ahead and hook up any things that you need right there next to you. Maybe a towel, I don't know how strong the magnet is, but you can get creative with it. Now, since we're already over here, as you can kind of see next to our outdoor shower, that's also where your city water is and your black tank flush. Everything is color coded and highlighted, and you also have a picture so you can show exactly how it needs to be set up for dry camping or to power fill your tank. As we move on, this is, as you can see, a rear bathroom configuration here. You do have a nice little closet, which I'll show you on the inside too if it's kind of hard outside, but the shelves are adjustable, and then you do have a nice little drawer here as well. You do have a zipper here, so a bug screen. So if you did want to go ahead and use your restroom or any of the bathroom amenities, you can go ahead and close that screen to give yourself some privacy. And it does have a nice little bug screen, so you can still get some ventilation if you're not running the AC or if it's too hot or anything like that. Not to worry. Have a nice little hose, so just little extensions that you can go ahead and use. And then we have our 30 amp shore power cord. In addition to the shower setup, you do have an inside shower in it, as well as that exterior shower we already looked at. So here is that shower head, and then you do have a nice little curtain here so you can keep from things getting wet. It does go ahead, as you can see it on the roof here. I guess I can just demonstrate it really quick. Let's see if I can do it from up here. But you can curtain all the way around, so you don't have to worry. I can't do it this high up, but you get the point. It will cover this, so you don't have to worry about your closet area getting wet, which is really nice. All right, right over here is our toilet. I'll just move this clipboard. As you can see, it is winterized, so you do have a nice little hose here too. But we have 12 gallons of black tank capacity as well as gray tank. And then as far as for fresh water, we have 18. So just kind of keep that in mind. Here is our sink. So I love how it's collapsible and you can just go ahead and put it away whenever you need to use it. You can also use it from the outside as well. So that's kind of neat. Fold it back up, push it away. You can't even tell that a sink's there. And then you also do have your little medicine cabinet, which I'll just jump up here really quick to hopefully show you that. We're gonna have to wait on the inside. But again, you have a nice little medicine cabinet here with the mirror. So everything that you need is in one dedicated spot, which makes it nice. And then, sorry, the toilet paper holder. Can't forget that. It's just built into that door. All right. Working our way over here, we just have our dump hoses right there, so you can go ahead and hook up to go ahead and dump those tanks when needed. And which is kind of cool, even though you don't really have a lot going on over here, you do have another light option as well. And then we have our truma. That's just our access point, where the heat kind of comes out, so any of the fumes or anything will be blown out here. Right over here is just a little spot where we can keep our sewage hoses, and then we have our propane tap on this side as well. It's like my hands are so cold, I didn't know if I was going to be able to open that. We have a 30 amp shore power cord here, and as you can see, it will glow GLN, just to let you know you have a healthy charge, so you don't have to worry about anything there whenever you plug into a power source that you've never plugged into before. Kind of lets you know if it's good or not. Again, as far as the windows, same and identical on the other side as well. And then we have our fuel tank here. So this is a gasoline coach, and it's on a Ram, which I'll go ahead and pop that hood and briefly show you guys. I have all the chairs and everything swiveled, so we won't get too much into that until we get on the inside. Let's see if I can get the latch. There we go. Okay. Perfect. Alrighty, again, this is on that Ram Promaster. It's 280 horsepower, 3.6 liter V6 gas engine, has a 9-speed automatic 62 TE transmission and 180 amp alternator. It does have the 4-wheel ABS brakes, and then the hitch is a 3,500 pound drawbar with a 350 pound maximum vertical tongue weight. Rams are super simple, so everything is kind of just right there in front of you. There's not a lot going on. They only show you so much too, so you can't really get lost in anything. We got our windshield wiper fluid, our oil fill, dipstick, and then we got the coolant on the other side. So very, very plain Jane, nothing too crazy, but if you had any additional questions, feel free to reach out. I'm just gonna close this not so gracefully, and we'll head on the inside. All right. All right, at first look, again, we have that bug screen here, so you can go ahead and leave this door open if you'd like, but you don't have to worry about any critters getting in. I do have our lagoon table set up here, which is just kind of nice because you can lower it and higher it and adjust it completely to your liking. So if this is a table that you kind of wanted to use to have lower and kind of swing it outside, you could do that as well. We have our fire extinguisher right over here, and then we have our some charging as well, lights, and then our awning controllers right over here. All right, I'll go ahead and take first couple steps in here. Move this lagoon table out of the way. And we'll go ahead and start in the back where our shower curtain is. Open that back up just so you can see that you do have an actually heavy-duty pocket door right here. And then we'll go ahead and just start at the top. I'll show you the storage on either side, and then we'll get into this bed configuration here. So 2 storages over here. They're 2 separate, so it's not through and through. We got some charging right over above the TV, so if you needed any of that. Nice little drawer as well. You have to pull down first to let it swing out, but you can put all your gadgets there or anything that you need in that. Identical storage on the other side here in addition to this. And then I forgot to point out that you do have a nice little night light. Blue is for night, and then you got the, oh, I'm just kidding, it's just the blue. You don't have the white light, so just blue light. Oh, if you hold it down. Oh. It does. Sorry. Yeah, you just have to hold it down. I like that much better actually, because then you're like fighting it and clicking over and over again. So that's kind of cool. All right. Here are the awning style windows. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hands warm up a little bit. You can go ahead and, you know, fight with these. But you do have 3 separate clicks. This is as high as it can be, and then you have like a medium and a low. The bug screen that I mentioned earlier, I love that it has the frame around it, so when you do have this closed, you don't have to worry about any bugs slipping through any type of cracks. And then you have your blackout screen too, which is kind of nice because you could still keep that window open, but you do want some privacy and to still have some fresh air. You can go ahead and get the best of both worlds there. And then when you're ready to tuck it away, if you did want to keep your windows locked but still have it cracked, you can go ahead and just put it in the middle here and it will do that for you. But of course, when you're driving, it's not it's not very pleasant driving down the road hearing the whistle. So I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you don't mind it. You can do it if you'd like, but it gets a little noisy when you do that. All right, now that I went over all the storage and the windows, we're gonna go ahead and open up this side of the bed here. It is in a twin bed setup, but when you do lift this side, this is where you have extra storage compartments. This is where that lagoon table was, but as you can see, you have like a nice little plastic dome there, so if you had any fluids or all of your shower goods that you wanted to kind of tuck away there. And then you do have another hole right over here. And then you got your batteries, which are on this side. That's why this side's very ventilated, just so those batteries have room to breathe. And then your control panel and your breakers are going to be over here. So breakers down here on the gray, and then the fuses are going to be right over there. Just button that back up. All right. So as you can see, you can go ahead and lounge here, have each person have their own reading space, read a book, chillax, or you can go ahead and put your lagoon table that we already showed you over there. You can slip it in right here, and then you can have it adjust in between 2 people if you'd like. So you can go ahead and sit down, have lunch, dinner, however you'd like. That also swings open, so you can also have some extra counter space in the galley. But when you are ready to get tucked away and close up shop for the night, this, I'll kind of try to show you before I slide it over. There's 2 panels, and you do have a little latch, so you don't have to worry about it separating overnight. It's just kind of hard for me to do from this side to show you guys, but once you latch it on over, which I'm not fully latching it just because it's kind of a 2-person job, or I have to crawl across and then get the other side. I mean, it can be done, but for video purposes, we're not going to get that crazy with it. Put all 3 cushions, so you have your 3rd cushion, which will get slid down over there. Then you can make it into a nice queen bed. If you need the measurements, feel free to reach out to me. I'll go ahead and measure what each twin bed is and then how big it is together, just in case you need that. But I like the twin bed setup a little bit better than any other conversions, just for those, because for taller people, it's a lot longer of a bed option for you, so you don't feel as crammed. All right, and then you just slide it on over. And then I know we said we had charging on this side. The charging is actually attached to the galley over here, just so you don't have to fight for any charging situations on either side of who gets what bed. And then moving on over, we have our little fridge, and of course a mini freezer for anything that you need. We have our drawer here, which has our remotes, and then this is our remote for that the fan, which is right above us, which is nice having it in the kitchen just in case you are cooking and it gets a little smoky in here or anything like that. Beautiful galley countertops. This is solid surface here. Decent size of the sink. It's nice and rectangular. Your faucet does swivel. I don't believe it does not have the extension though. I like the little lip too, so you don't have to worry about losing anything behind the galley. If you need additional charging, this goes, and you can push this up, and there we go. So you have plenty of charging. Nice little basket that's also adjustable. You can kind of take it off if you don't need it, or you can kind of put it exactly where you like. And then you do have some additional lights if you just wanted to kind of use these lights at night, so you don't have to use, you know, all the other lights to kind of maintain your batteries. And then you have 2 more storage compartments in here as well. Nice and divided up for you, so you don't have to worry about things sliding all around. And then we got our true induction cooktop, which I'm sure you already seen. And then directly below that, we have our microwave and 2 more drawers. Right here is just where the heat is all lower, just since heat rises to kind of help you get a little bit better temperature throughout the van. And then you have a nice little cubby here that's just in that step. Use all the space possible. And then since I set this up, I just wanted to show you another option for eating here. You can go ahead and have 2 people sit here and have your tables configured however you'd like, which again, this would probably be the better way, but you can go ahead and configure that how you would like. But whenever you do want to get it tucked away, you can go ahead and just take this off. It's kind of nice because this bottom one is adjustable, right? So you just unlatch it and you can lower it or higher it. And over here is just how you would take this off. It just locks it into that leg, but it still has a swivel. And then what I really liked is how they put that same little power charging source right here. So if you're somebody that's interested in working on the go, you can have your own little desk area. You could still have a place to eat. You're not stuck to sitting in one spot to do all things. So I like that. This is the table. I forget exactly what Winnebago called it, but it tucks away. So I'm gonna just call it the tuck away table. Flips over. Slide it. And honestly, if you didn't even know it was there, you probably wouldn't realize what it was. I had to actually research it. I knew it was a table, I just didn't know how to fold it out without breaking it. And you have a nice little button here, so it locks in place and you don't have to worry about it jiggling while you're going down the road. So I just did want to display that for you guys. We have our beautiful LED light and then more storage up above here as well. And to close out, you're probably thinking of where all the controllers are. They're gonna be right above here. So right when you walk in, you can just turn around and you can check on your cabin lights, check on all the power systems, your one place for that water pump and tank levels. And then you can also check out the battery power. Right over here is for that Truma. So for your hot water and your heater, you can go ahead and set temperatures and configurations all through here. You have your LP valve, which is probably just turn that off. And then, excuse me, it is equipped with a holding tank heater. So that's going to help for those colder months. Make sure you don't, get into some trouble as far as freeze damage. And then to close off, we just have our Volta system. So that's going to be our power system here. So you can kind of see everything. And it gives you a nice little ETA of whatever you're using currently, which we're just using the lights. Looks like we can run that for about 98 hours. But once we start using more power, it will automatically adjust for you. And then of course, the time is totally wrong, but you can adjust that. And then you also have a nice little sleep mode, so you can turn that off as well. And this is just a little magnet thing to cover this up so it doesn't automatically accidentally get pushed to turn on or off. All right, now we're just gonna go jump up here. Hopefully I can swivel this without running into anything. Just gotta move up forward a little bit. There we go. Locks back into place. Can move it back. And let's go ahead and start up the chassis. Perfect. You do have your emergency brake on this side, along with like an auxiliary 1 and 2. Sorry, I'll turn that down, even though it's a good song. It automatically is just showing our tire pressure. It is giving us an alarm that the seat is swiveled. It is not like that, so you will not really, you should not be driving like when it is swiveled. As far as the mileage, so today it is 6,592 miles to be exact. So if you had any other questions, I can run a Carfax for you and send that on over to you, kind of to dive deeper into any remainder of chassis warranties and all that kind of stuff. As far as for our Ram steering wheel, we have all of the configurations here for our cruise control, our voice assist, so if you wanted to pair your phone, and then you can go ahead and flip through the screen on this side. Again, it's letting us know that our door is open as well. Sliding over here, let's actually, start from the top because I love this. They haven't been doing it for very long, but it's something that I feel like is very necessary, being able to see behind you. And you can turn that off if you did need to see what was going on behind you while you're driving as well, as far as inside of the van. But I always forget to point that out, and I love this, so I just wanted to take a moment to point that out. For this model year, you do have that option. Here's our home screen, so you can kind of just see a little bit of everything. It is nice touchscreen. And then down below here, we do still have some options for some buttons for our AC and heating and so forth. And then we have our hazard lights, a nice little wireless charging pad here, some 3-cup holders, and yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for our 2023 Winnebago Travato. So if you guys have any other comments, questions, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, or any other Winnebago product. I'd be happy to help you out. You can reach me at my information below. It should be popping up here momentarily. Again, my name is Taylor. You can reach me at 970-388-7937, and thanks for tuning in.